Alright, hello. So today we're gonna watch the dev drop. I'm gonna raise the volume. This is gonna be my initial live reaction. I haven't watched this before. I've seen one or two things on Twitter. So you know, music's gonna be a little bit louder, but we're gonna try and pause in between if I want to talk about something. Alright, we got more dog. Maybe volume like here. I think that's a good volume mix. Alright, let's watch. Alright.
Want a pastry?
Thanks.
Cute. We love pastries in this house. Okay, I'm sensing a magic theme. Okay, I know the title's Magic and Mayhem. That's kind of... I can't even pretend. That's as much as I know, I think. I know one or two of the units. Alright, something frosty. I think this part we already saw, right?
Sam here.
Hello,
I'm
Sam.
Setley from Magic and Mayhem. Whimsical and hectic twist on the world of magic.
Oh, fuck, there's way
In the
again.
Magitorium, all types of magic are welcome. And our champions have harnessed an incredible variety. Now, they're ready to test their magical might on the battlefield. So I hope you are too.
Okay. I'm trying to find a good volume mix. Because it's been a while since I did a reaction.
Specialize in whatever form of magic tickles your fancy. We've got fire magic, ice magic, witch magic.
Oh, so it's gonna be like
all your standard
elemental, I
magics.
guess.
But there's also mayhem. So let's get chaotic.
Oh.
First things first.
Bees!
Honeymancy champions summon tiny, untargetable versions of themselves, swarming
Zigs?
their enemies with sheer numbers. The
Blitzcrank?
Honeymancy roster may make for a go-to reroll comp.
Wait, is there no
With the charm
Bebo?
stacking King Beegar as your carry, you'll be a total buzzkill for your lob bees in the late game.
Also, I missed
Lob
what this trait
total
does.
buzz King Beegar for a go-to reroll comp. But with the charm stacking King Beegar
Oh,
as
the
your carry,
bees are the
you'll be
rerolls,
a
but they're
total
so
buzzkill for
cute.
your lob
Oh, I
bees
hate
in the late
reroll.
game too.
Man, I wish it was a
You
4
have
cost
charm
comp.
stacking, which will make a lot more sense later, I promise.
Charm stacking,
If you've got
okay.
a sweet tooth, we've got the perfect trait for you. Sugar crafters build a cake filled with power and treats by collecting sugar for each item component your team has.
Oh,
Each
so this is
layer
the
you bake
fortune
will
trait?
Power up sugar crafters with saccharine stats. When the cake is finished, more rewards are sure to come.
Bard, Jinx.
With
Gwen!
routine scaling, all you
Oh, I
need
love
is
Gwen.
fructose and glucose, and your opponent
Wait, this looks
is
so good!
piece of cake.
Wait. I'll pause. Wait. This actually looks hype.
Piece of cake.
This is what I want the most in the game, by the way. This is what I hated about set. Like, I didn't enjoy set 11 that much, and because there's a lot of things that I really enjoyed that didn't have, like there was a lot of traits that didn't do what I wanted in the game. One of my favorite things to play in the game is melee frontline, AP backline, which is what this looks like, right? It looks like you have casting items and Gwinsu and like AP items backline, and then you have like a melee frontline, right? Those are my favorite things to do because I feel like the item economy works out so good in those comps, as well as it's so much fun because you can like switch which comp you're prioing, if you're prioing your frontline or your backline as your dual carry. In like this set, there wasn't really that. Like, you can argue Ghostly was supposed to be that trait, and early on I thought it would be, and then it severely let me down because a lot of times with Ghostly you're never playing towards that type of build,
A lot
path,
of people on the team
right?
say
I guess
freaks them out.
Reapers kind of turned into
I don't really
that
get why.
towards the end of the set, but it doesn't. Reapers you barely, you don't really treat it like that. You
Anyway,
usually treat it as like all
This trait
melee.
summons cuddly friends. And if you hit 9 Eldritch, the
Eldritch.
biggest, cuddliest friend of all comes to scout.
Oh shit!
Briar will make her TFT debut as the 5 cost for Eldritch. And she's
All
hungry
right.
as ever for friendship and blood.
So this is like the summon trait
Satiate
thing.
her hunger with your player health, and you'll grant her
Oh,
HP.
I'm so happy Gwen's
Plus,
back. I
she'll
love
deal more
Gwen.
damage the lower your tactician
I didn't play League.
Win-
I'll pause just so I don't interrupt. I didn't play League, but if I did, I'd be a top lane player for sure. Cause like I played against bots a lot and like I watch a lot, and all my favorite champs are all like the top laners. I guess I also like mid laners. I played a lot of Eternal Return. If you guys ever played Eternal Return, I have like hundreds of hours in that game. Cause the only reason I don't play League is because I don't have friends to queue with. All my friends play Valo, so when we queue, we play Valo. But yeah.
Win.
And all the characters I
Also
played
welcome
were
to
either
Soul
I played like an
Emergence
Ari
for the
clone in
first
that
time as
game,
the
and
5
other
cost
stuff.
For our dragon trait. This
All right,
lady can
dragons?
fly around the battle, attacking the nearest enemy and dropping fireballs from above.
Oh,
Dragon will also bring back Shyvana as a shapeshifter and Namzi from Dragonlance as a 1 cost with a fiery sneeze. Dragon's attacks and abilities burn and wound. And if you can field all 3 of them, the power of their fiery friendship will upgrade all of their abilities.
Oh, so this feels like Freylord. Like it's a very
There's
small
Witchcraft,
trait, but like it's
whose
giga
units
good.
curse enemies with their abilities, making them lose a portion of their max health.
Okay, I missed that
take extra
again.
damage from
Sorry
witchcraft
about
abilities.
this. Let's go back.
Then there's
Witchcraft
whose
now.
units curse enemies with their abilities, making them lose a portion of their max health, take extra damage from witches, and eventually transform them into frogs.
Huh.
The 5-cost Queen of Witchcraft is also Queen of the Bats.
Oh, is that Morgana?
Morgana sends out bats
Oh,
to
sick.
nearby enemies. dealing
She would be
extra damage
useful.
to those enemies are low health. When her pretties kill an enemy, they have a chance to
Wait, there's
evolve,
Mordekaiser.
granting a 1-star copy.
Oh, I love me my
or
top
one of
laners.
their item components. Let the bat napping begin. I think we have time for a
Okay,
couple more
I saw Kaisa as
Chrono
well.
trait starts a countdown. Sped up each time a Chrono champion casts. Once the countdown completes, your team will restore a portion of their health. But at later breakpoints, the trait has the power to stop time for non-Chrono units, or even Chrono break all your units back to max health.
Oh, cute editing.
Whoa! I wasn't done here. I haven't even talked about the Chrono
I
units.
hate it when they do this.
Karma.
Like I feel bad for the devs because they're trying to make them take on like an acting role, and it comes across like you know like it comes across as awkward, and I feel bad because like I'm sure everybody else is gonna see it as being like a little awkward.
Be
Some
your
of these
go-to
little
AP
like
character.
quip
Taking up
moments,
heaps of
but I
damage
think it's
over
cute
time,
and
while the
endearing. I'm
5-cost
happy
Camille
they do
creates a
stuff
zone
like
where she
that.
can bend time
Good job, devs.
and her opponents to her will. To bring the time magic fantasy of Chrono to the Convergence, we're looking to the stars with Wild Rift's Stargazer.
I don't recognize any of these people. Is
Like
that
Silky from
Vex?
Arcane or T-Hex from Legends of Runeterra. We're always excited for timely collabs. All right, that's enough for me. You'll see the rest when the set drops on PBU.
Yep,
Like I
PB is
mentioned
this
earlier,
Wednesday. I'm
we
gonna be
still
playing
need to
it
talk about
live on my
champions.
Twitch.
Matt, Alicia,
Hell or
give
High
our
Water.
friends the scoop.
Okay, set mechanic. This is the big one. So I hated encounters. I think this set in general, like set 11, I don't think it was bad in any way, shape, or form. I think if you enjoyed it, there's nothing wrong with that. I didn't like this set at all. I think out of all the sets that I played, I was the least excited about the traits. I was the least excited about the units. I was least excited about the mechanics, and I kind of just grinded. Like there was one patch that I enjoyed, and that's the patch where I played most of my games, and I just got master just for the sake of it. I really wanted to try and grind to challenger this set, like set 11, but I just have no will to play it because I never enjoyed it. Like there's like I just didn't. Like there was nothing about the set. Everything in the set, there was another trait in a previous set that I liked more that was like a better version of it, if that makes sense. And I haven't even played that many sets. I only played since set 9. But I was like, I don't like any of these traits. Like there's no unit I have like my favorite unit was probably like Janna or Lux. And it's like towards the end of the set now, it's like I can never play Janna Lux because the lobby's always 3-way contesting it. And I'm not good enough to like rank up to a point where like I'm the one that can play it and everybody else pivots off. So I'm just like, I'm so done with set 11, right? Yeah.
Hey, tacticians.
Let's see
I'm
the
Matt
mechanic.
the game
This is
designer
usually the most distinguishing feature of the set. So if we like this, the set will be amazing.
This set's mechanic, charms. I'm here with Alicia Loring, who helped us make charms a reality in-game.
Charmed to meet you. I'm Alicia, the UX lead for TFT.
Charms are magical abilities that you can purchase from the shop once per round from anywhere from 20
Oh.
to completely free. They do a whole host of wild and wacky things, but their power is tied to their cost and the stage to become available. You'll only be able to buy one per round, despite seeing multiple if you roll enough, so you'll want to pick the one that's most useful to you at any given moment. Let's talk through some examples, starting with a simple one. Phantom Gloves. With 3 gold, you'll get a temporary Thief's Gloves until the end of your next player combat.
Is it really a thief's gloves if you don't get to keep it? A more big brain example comes from the Copycat charm, which grants you a 1-star copy of the first enemy champion to die during the next player combat. There are also charms that appear during the mid-game when you have a bit more gold, but you're still tinkering with your strategy. Reclamation is a cheap charm that breaks apart items on bench champions for a round. Combat-oriented charms are likely to appear during the mid-game as well. Earthquake stuns your opponent's board for 2 seconds at the start of combat, while Silver Guard makes your team immune to crowd control for the first few seconds of the fight. Talk about a hard counter.
Later in the game, you'll get offered more expensive and powerful charms, like Spawn Swarm, which for 8 gold will make it so your dying champ spawn a small voidling.
Sorry, I didn't mean to fast forward. I'm gonna say my initial reaction. I wasn't saying anything because I was letting them cook. I don't like this. Oh my god, this looks like a nightmare. But maybe it's fun. I don't know. Oh no. Oh, I have anxiety. Like I got like a wave of like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to play this for like 4 months. Okay, well let's not judge too harshly. I'll talk about it later.
Gross. All fives, a medium price charm, will immediately re-roll your shop into all
Okay, I hate it.
five costs. It's perfect for taking screenshots
Oh
to show your
wait, let's
friends
see what the
just
5
how
costs
lucky
are. Let's see what the 5 costs are. There's Briar. That looks like Milio. And then Smolder.
you are.
See, I can play League.
Lastly, we have Ascendant Charms, which come from Xerath, a 5-cost Arcana champion with the unique Ascendant trait. Xerath, whose ability launches a barrage of arcane blasts at enemies, can grant you access to charms like the Tower, which summons a large target dummy for a round that strikes enemies
Yeah,
with lightning.
I mean,
Or the Sun, which will grant you a support anvil and an artifact anvil. With all these exciting late-game charms, we expect to see some crazy final two
oh
player fights as
no.
players desperately charm roll
Oh
to
my
eke out
god,
just
they
one
made a
placement
charm that can
better.
give you an Orn artifact. That's like my
Team came up with
biggest
charms.
complaint with
We
set
had to figure out
11.
just
Like
how to
Loki,
make them make
Loki, the biggest problem I have with set 11 is it changes it to Orn artifact. Now you can just insta win off certain artifacts. And they just made a thing where you could just get an artifact, and it's not even like an encounter where everybody gets an artifact. It's like a thing where like you might get it. Oh
in the game.
no.
My personal approach is that UX should feel like magic. It should fade into the background and feel like a natural extension of your powers as a tactician in the Convergence. You can
Okay.
see this philosophy at work with recommended items, augments and armory interfaces, or our favorite memory enhancer, the Team Planner.
I once had somebody. I'm not trying to put somebody on blast. If you're still subscribed to the channel, you still watch it. But I remember somebody was like really upset that like there wasn't like 2 team planners in one of my comments. They were like, this set sucks, and you, like it sucks that you can't put like more than 10 units in a team planner. Bro, I remember when there was no team planner. Like you just had to do that shit off memory. Do you know how hard it was to roll? Like you know how hard it was to remember what unit you need when you're just like fucking playing the game? Like it was so I missed so many units.
But for charms,
I'm pretty sure I hit masters just because they added a team planner. I think if they didn't add a team planner, I would have been stuck in diamond. I swear to God, I'm pretty sure.
we wanted to deliver something a little more delightful. When you buy a charm, it will follow your tactician around and show everyone in the lobby what type of magic you've got your hands on. And we're always looking for more
Oh.
ways to level up the overall TFT experience.
Okay, but
So we're
but
also working
the problem is like that's good, and they say the charms last 1 turn. I think my biggest problem is like
on
even if you
quality
know
of
that
life.
somebody has a charm, like what if they buy it at the last second? Like you can't prepare for the combat. That whatever.
improvements like new stats, or even ways to add more portals to TFT. With that, let's portal over to cosmetics.
Ooh, cosmetics, everybody. This is for you guys.
Hi everyone, I'm Theo.
Swipe,
producer
swipe,
of
swipe,
TFT
swipe. Get the credit card ready.
And we have a ton of new content for Magic and Mayhem to share with you. This is our biggest Chibi drop.
Oh,
yet,
Misfortune.
and we're starting with a little shock and awe. Chibi Misfortune and Chibi Battle Bunny.
I know who Misfortune is. I played
hit the
Misfortune.
convergence at the start of the set.
She's similar to
2
another
hours
unit in
and
Eternal
40
Return that I played.
Like and subscribe. Looking for something a bit edgier? How about the Shadow Clone Assassin Gone Galactic? Chibi Galaxy Slayer
Oh,
Z is
Zed.
the finisher that will leave your opponent gray screen alongside an entire planet in the process.
I don't like Zed.
Then,
Gwen!
in the spirit of buttery, flaky goodness,
Oh my
Prestige
God.
Chibi Cafe Cuties Gwen will make
Could I use my Boko dollars on
release
this?
with a widescreen splash art, a new precedent for our Prestige tier.
Oh, I don't think I'll be able to.
She also have her own finisher, full of cute.
Like, I
poses
can't
that
use
will
the
show you
free
just what
currency
she's
to buy this, right? I have to
Spoiler
pay
alert,
real
it's
dollars.
you. For those of you who want the full cafe experience, we're eager to serve. Or at least, these hardworking cafe bunnies are. They putter around the arena,
Oh, this is so
serving
cute.
croissants and sweeping up spills. But if you start sweeping the floor with your opponents, they'll swap their broomsticks for glow sticks and become your own personal cheering squad. Get a win streak going and, well, this happens. Lastly,
Oh, I can't
collaboration
afford
with an
any of
NA
this.
content creator
Listen, we're gonna
you
need some
probably
members
know
on this
from this
YouTube channel, or else I won't
If
be
you
able to
need
buy
another
any of
hint,
these things. Go
check
on,
out
get
this
chopping. Or Twitch subs if you have a Twitch Prime.
Bootcamp
Drop it on my
Boom
Twitch
will be
channel.
available for all Box Bootcamp and community participants for free during the bootcamp, and will be later added to the rotational shop for everyone to get in on the cubicle cardboard action.
Wait,
That's it for cosmetics.
wait, who am I supporting on
There'll be a
Boxbox?
few
I hope a
market
Spectacore
rotations and, of
joins
course,
again.
a new pass. But you have to
It's
wait till
that's
later
right. It's
to
gonna be
check
start a
this out.
set. We're gonna have like
For
that whole
now,
fun part.
Let's see what the rest of the team is cooking up.
Next revival. Okay, I don't really care about this, but for those that care, I'll try and
My
say
name is
something.
Right Xtina, and I'm the
Hi,
product manager for
Xtina.
TFT's events and set
Oh, I
revivals.
didn't say hi to the other like
Before
2
I reveal
people.
what we have in store for you
Sorry,
today,
I missed their
I wanna
names.
share
Hello
some
everybody in the
insights on
video.
our first set revival, Galaxies. Though we've shipped totally new game modes before, we weren't certain that set revivals would resonate with players. I mean, did players really want to get blitz hooked every game again? Obviously not. That's why
It's
we
more so
have
that
this
I just
now.
don't have the time to
You
play a whole
never,
other set.
ever pivot. Sorry, I got caught up in nostalgia. And so did many of our players. On its launch weekend, the Galaxy Survival made up almost half of total game hours. It's no wonder that mech units were 3-starred 2,344,741 times. So,
That's a
we're
lot.
reviving another mid-set during Magic and Mayhem. This one will bring back fan favorites like Hellion, Abomination Scion,
Do I
Vertical
remember this
Legionnaire,
set?
and of course, our first legendary unit that costs 6 player health instead of gold. Yep, I'm talking.
Oh, I do remember this set. I watched this.
Reckoning Dawn of Heroes was the mid set for our 5th set.
Mid set for
It has
5th.
a reputation of being one of TFT's biggest comeback stories. The set introduced
Yeah,
mechanics
I think
that
I've
become
seen this.
core parts of
I only
TFT,
started playing in
like
set
Radiant
9,
items,
but I
armors,
watched
blessing,
TFT. The same way
all
like
of which
League. Like I
have
watch
inspired
Worlds, I
various
watch
portals,
mostly like
augments, and
MSI
more.
games every year for League. I've never played a single fucking
Adding a
game of
few
Summoner's
updates,
Rift, but
some
I
of
know
which
like
are certain to
most
surprise
of the
even our
shit,
most
right?
dedicated Reckoning players.
But that's just because I
Across
watch,
Stockade
right?
and
Like I like the
Galaxies,
sport of it.
We heard that players wanted more, and this time we'll also be adding progression outside of the game that will be specifically for the revival. The Dawn of Heroes revival will be out for 3 patches, starting patch 14.19, just a few patches into Magic Mayhem.
4.19? That's
Okay,
like
I've got to wrap
that's
this
in a
up,
month.
but
That's in
expect
like
more
2
information
months,
after
right?
Magic
That's like in the
Mayhem
middle.
goes live.
Okay, so that's not happening for a while. Esports.
Hey everyone, Sherman here with an esports
Hi, Sherman.
update before we do our last Magic and Mayhem spoiler. We've just finished our first set with our new competitive model. We're filming this in early May, well ahead of the Inkborn Fables Tactician's Crown.
Yeah, that just
Last
happened.
year, we brought our
Congratulations
first
to
ever
Dish though.
TFT Open to
Let's
Las
go,
Vegas.
NA.
It was a huge opportunity to see the Western TFT community come to
Oh,
light.
this thing. Yeah.
This year, I'm excited to announce that the next TFT Open is headed to Macau, December
Macau.
13th through the 15th.
Well, I can't go.
Similar to how last year's Open was played on the second patch of Remix Rumble, the Macau Open will be played on our next set when it's still fresh. But don't wait to start prepping. Your ranking for Magic and Mayhem will determine your registration order for the Open. We're doing our snapshot on September 2nd, with ticket sales
September
releasing
2nd.
later that week in a bracketed order based upon your rank. Tactician's Crown participants from Runeterra Reforged through Inkborn Fables will get first
My life
pick.
isn't together, so I won't be able to
Challenger
go to
players will
this,
get
even if
access a
like
day
you know.
later.
I'm
Grandmaster
too
and
broke
Masters
and
players the following
everything.
day, and the remaining competitor tickets plus general admission tickets will be released the day after that. Wow, that was a lot of info, but don't worry. If you need this in writing too,
I
we
wish
just
the
published an article
TFT,
with more info on the
like
dates,
I come from
ticket
fighting
sales, and
games,
format.
and with fighting
And for
games,
once,
you're able
I'm
to
not
like
last.
play the
Peter,
fighting
take
game
it
all
away.
the time. Right? Like there's like locals. Like I grew up playing Melee and playing Melee competitively. I say competitively. I wasn't like ranked or
Peter Whalen
anything,
here.
but I went
The
to like
last
all
time
the
we checked
tournaments
in,
that I could,
Gordon and I
like super
shared our
majors and
new
everything,
3-set-a-year
just for the
model.
culture of it,
You all have been
right?
super excited about this.
But
and it's
I
awesome
guess
that
with
we're
like
now
more
living in
modern
this
games
world.
like this, like they're not like
With
the
3
whole
sets
like
a year
arcade
and
culture of
3
like going
pods
to
working
see
on a
people and
longer
have fun.
timeline to deliver
It's more just
higher
like sweaty
quality
gamers
content.
at home just
At this
bitching all
point,
the time.
We've learned a lot about what good looks like, from mechanics to traits, all the way to thematics. We're committed to investing in the stuff that makes each set feel special, like fun and unique portals.
Oh, I didn't say hi to
augments,
this
and
guy.
evergreen
Hello.
systems
Sorry, I
like
missed your name.
items. Shout out to the 20 new artifacts released earlier.
Oh yeah,
in
this
Inkborn
part. Okay, I'm gonna
Fables.
pause. Okay,
We're also
mute the video for like 20 to 30 seconds because I'm gonna bitch for a second. I hate what they did to Orn artifacts. I was the biggest Orn artifact enjoyer. I would always look for niche lines with Orn artifacts. I would always like know everything about them all, right? And I remember in set 9, I started by like set 9 was the set where like you had legends, so you can tailor your augments, right? So in set 9 you can basically pick a dude and he'll like always give you augments from like that field, right? So I always picked Orn and I always played around Orn artifacts. So every single game I played in set 9, I was basically playing with an Orn item, right? So I loved all of that and I was always keeping up with it. I hate what they did to it now. It just feels so annoyingly bad to pop an anvil and like 3 out of the 4 options are not like generic. I liked it when it was a generic augment, where it was like a generic strong item, and like there was 1 or 2 that were pretty bad, like 1 or 2 that like didn't really fit in well. But like now that they made like all these extra Ornn artifacts, there's like half of them that are only good on certain units that do nothing on another unit. Like it's like if your unit stuns, then you do bonus damage. It's like, well, what if I don't have a unit that stuns? It's like now I have to pivot my line or I have to play towards it. And part of that was because I think it got released with encounters. I might be over exaggerating because it might be a lot better in a situation like without encounters, right? Because the biggest grief was when an encounter's like, hey, here's an Ornn artifact, and it's like, well, shit, like, you know, it's just lottery on who gets one that actually fits their board, depending on what stage it happens in, because you don't have enough time to pivot or resources. It's like, well, I already upgraded my board. I can't just like sell my tank, roll for a new tank, and put the Giga item on the tank. You know what I mean? As opposed to like playing around it from an earlier on and like structuring your game around it. So we'll see how this set goes out. But they already said there's a champion that can just drop an Ornn artifact. So like, you know, or a charm, a late game charm that can just drop an Ornn artifact. So, you know, I'm already not liking what I'm hearing, but you know, we'll see how it goes.
Focused on the first 10 to 30 hours of a TFT player's experience. Learning the ropes of a deep, strategic, and fast-paced game is incredibly rewarding, but it shouldn't feel demoralizing. We're not quite ready to share just how we're looking to better this experience, but we can assure you that not only will this be good for new players, but also for you, our current players.
Okay.
Just think about how much easier it could be to get your friends into TFT and help your double up climb.
Nobody wants to play double up with me. I asked all my friends multiple times. I even tried to like I have my best friend who would like, you know, I'd take a bullet for her and she probably would do the same. Probably not, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I have less going on in life, so I can afford to take the bullet. But like, she's never gonna play TFT. Like I told her multiple times. I feel like the easier you make the game or the more accessible, I don't think anybody likes to play TFT with people, because the problem is double up doesn't have like a ranking that people care about, and when you're playing solo queue, nobody wants to play with you because if one person is better than the other, like people get really competitive and get upset at each other.
We've come a long way from summoners flooding the
That's what I mean. I don't know how to get new players into TFT. I try my best to make my channel as new friendly gamer as possible, right? And I think that's like the best way to do it.
For being a part of the TFT journey. TFT would not be the same without you, because together we are TFT and our future is bright.
Oh, great. It's like a cult. We are TFT.
Oh, and
Rah,
before I
rah,
forget,
rah.
I think it's time to let the cat owner out of the bag. Thanks to our friends on Legends of Runeterra, we're bringing Yumi's owner to TFT. Nora, everyone's favorite portal-popping Yordle, will be hitting the convergence as a 5 cost in our portal trait.
Ooh.
The trait is the perfect match for Nora. The only thing she loves more than tea,
What is this?
cats, and magic.
Oh,
is when
okay.
all of those
It's just
things
summon
fall out
shit.
of a portal at random. The trait shields portal units and then ejects random stuff throughout combat.
Portal
We're talking about
units.
things
I
like
see a
Ziggs bombs that
brand.
deal
It
magic
looks
damage,
like.
Horo snacks
I
that
see
heal your
Darius.
allies,
I see
maybe even a wild
the other
card.
dude.
We can't
Summoning
have
stuff is
Nora
cool. I
without
think
her
that looks
feline
like fun.
companion. Nora's
She gets
legendary
Yumi?
Explorer trait brings Yumi along for the ride. Yumi will fly around on book, helping out her friends, and using her ability when Nora casts hers. There's lots more magic and mayhem to discover.
Okay, first thing I want to say, whenever they make something like this, where it's like, we just made a new 5 cost for the game. I'm telling you, as a dev, as a game dev, I've worked in game dev before. If you spend hours rigging, modeling, if you're doing anything from scratch, brand new for a game, you better bet your fucking ass this shit's gonna be broken. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be like Irelia, right? Irelia was a little bit bugged at the beginning, but like Irelia for the entire set was strong. There was never a patch where Irelia was weak. And I guarantee you, there is not a single dev there that would allow it. Like, they would riot. If you spend, like, fucking 3 weeks rigging the, doing the spline for the Irelia chain, and then all of a sudden they nerf her and she's unplayable, you would riot. I would quit my job. And I think that's the same thing here. So whenever you see somebody that looks like they have a bunch of work put in from the devs will riot. Pun intended.
There's lots more magic and mayhem to discover, so be sure to check
Oh, Tom
out
Kench.
Nora and the
I like
rest
Tom
of the
Kench.
roster when the set goes live with
Hecarim?
14.15 on July 30th. See you then.
Okay, initial thoughts. I think all the traits, they look interesting. I'm actually really curious about the traits. I think that the econ trait, this looks like the econ trait, right? Like the fortune, the heartsteel. I don't know how it's gonna be in terms of cash out, but it looks like you can. It doesn't look like there's a randomness to the cash out. That was my biggest problem with fortune. Not having a randomness to cash out makes it significantly more enjoyable to me. Because every time there's a randomness in the game, a better player will be able to cap very high. Fortune is very balanced this set. It's very, very good at a very, very top level of play. Now, I peaked at this set at barely top 1000 NA. I think I was just slightly under top 1000 NA. I think my highest was like something 200 Masters LP. Take it with whatever grain of salt. Think if I'm good, think if I'm bad, whatever. But I am by far top 1% in NA, right? That's indisputable, right? And it's not to flex. I'm not flexing. I want to get better. I obviously can get better. What I'm saying is I struggled a lot with playing around Fortune in some games, and it cost me a lot of LP. I felt like it was very difficult. Now maybe I'm just dumb. Maybe I'm sure there's some gold guardian, absolute god of the game, right? That is way better at Fortune than me. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, as a trait in total, I felt like having you basically have to, like, at a high level of play, like in a Masters lobby, I basically either had to have the fortune table open on in a new tab, or I had to memorize all of the cash outs. If I didn't have that bare minimum requirement, I felt like the game was very hard to pilot, because not knowing the exact breakpoints and knowing the exact breakpoints, and understanding the exact cash outs that you need to hit was so important. And especially when there's like people griefing you and you have HP management and all these other things, there's so many times where it's like, oh great, I like just missed a fortune cash out by this amount of turns. And that's not a problem with fortune. That's a problem of I should have never played fortune in the first place. Because if you don't know exactly where your breakpoint will lie, then you run into a situation of like, great, I'm like one away from like a 40 cash out, so I either have to push and risk losing the whole game, or I have to cash out a suboptimal cash out, right? Really good players, like if you watch challenger players play fortune, a lot of the times, like if you watch any of those really good, I'm talking like top level players, they will look at it and they'll be like, oh, it's 2-2. If I cash out on this turn, it will be a this cash out. So therefore, I will put in fortune because the interval is good. I want to put it in on this turn. And it's like, what the fuck? Like I'm sitting there, I'm like, my mind's blown. I'm like, I didn't even consider that. So it's like, I'm trying to learn this shit. And that's what I mean by it, because there was so many random thresholds, the skill cap for it was very high, which is not a bad thing in the game. I think that's amazing for the game. I just didn't enjoy it. I think Heartsteel was so much more fun. Yes, it was broken towards the end of the set. I think Piltor was more fun. Yes, it was more broken for the whole set. But it's like, when it's an econ trait, it's like, you know, I'm okay with one trait being like a win out trait. You know what I mean? Like if there's like a Piltover player in my lobby, I was never tilted in set 9. I was never tilted in set 11 when there was a Heartsteel player. I was kind of like, yeah, they have the fortune trait. What I do like about the fortune trait though, which scares me because it might make me play this a lot, or the econ trait here, is that what I was talking about, where it has like a backline carry and a frontline melee, right? Now I don't know how broken they'll be. Maybe Gwen is like a low cost unit, so she might not be that strong. It might be like a reroll oriented angle. I'm gonna lower the volume a little bit while I yap. The other traits, they all look kind of okay, right? Like this one looks kind of weird. It says like you give her player health. Like I don't know how Briar's gonna work if she's like when they describe Briar, what if she's like Winged Dragon of Raw? Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you think Briar's like Winged Dragon of Raw? You know in Winged Dragon of Raw in the show? Did you ever watch the Yu-Gi-Oh? Okay, this is going off the rails, but you know what I mean? You know when Merrick is like, I could pay up to 1 life point and make the Winged Dragon of Raw's attack power increase by that amount of life points. Is that how this is? Do you think that would be so fucking hype? Like imagine if it was like literally Winged Dragon of Raw, where it's like, I use all my HP -1 and then Briar just fucking goes infinite. Holy shit, that would be so cool. But also really scary. But it'd be like Cruel Pact, which is something that set 11 removed from the game, which was one of my favorite augments.
Plus, she'll deal more damage the lower your tactician health is.
She deals more damage the lower your tactician health is. Oh, so is it just like, it's not like you can't give up your health. Maybe it's just like, it's just based on your health. This one looks weird because it depends how broken this is. this looks like a positioning nightmare because this guy just attacks the closest unit. Like, bro, like, what if you just make him Giga? What if he like RNG snipes the backline? Isn't that crazy? The bees look really cute as well. I think the set looks nice. I think the set looks interesting. I'm obviously gonna play it. I'm gonna play till at least Masters. I want to hit Challenger this set because I feel like I could hit Challenger if I just put in a little bit more work. I know that's like really. I don't mean that in a pompous way. I just mean it like I haven't been focused on, like, as soon as I hit Masters, I just stopped playing the game the last couple sets, right? And I really want to hit Challenger because I want to be able to say, like, on my YouTube channel especially, that like I was a Challenger level player, because I think that it just garnishes me the ability to give more meaningful advice, right? I haven't been in a Challenger level play, so all my opinions are based on my Master level of play. And I think that if I hit Challenger, then I can have an experience in every single one of the ranks of TFT and be able to portray that in my videos, which I think is really important when you're making like educational and or tutorial based content. Because like if I can tell you, hey, I made it to Challenger and this is what matters at this point, that's like the last step that I don't have, right? Even when I did my rank up guide, I was only able to give advice up to Master because I don't have the experience to go any further than that, right? This shit I hate. I think anything that's like I don't know how these are going to be balanced. Maybe they will be fine. But like imagine that you have to spend gold in order to like increase your combat chance, and it's like it doesn't look like you have to commit to it at the beginning of the turn. So like it's gonna be so hard to judge fights, because what if there's some of these that are broken? Like there's one of them that they were saying like with one of the 5 costs that you can get like an Ornn artifact. Imagine if like it's like pay 10 gold for an Ornn artifact, and it's like, bro, it's like how do you determine if you're gonna win or lose the fight? How do you determine positioning? How do you determine any of the things that like make a fight happen? If like you can just like immediately change the outcome. It feels like hacks. Like if somebody has in their shop something that immediately spikes their board by a lot, which maybe it's not, but that's why I'm really skeptical about it. It doesn't look like that much fun. But if they're super low impactful, then it's fine. But if they're not low impactful, then it might be like a really annoying thing, right? See, like this one, like this stun, right? What if you're playing a comp with like a Gwinsu and you're like, yeah, I beat this guy for sure, and then like you start the fight and it's like he bought stun. It's like, what? Because it's like you know what I mean? Because like a good player isn't gonna buy it at the start of the turn. They're gonna buy it like at the last possible second. So you literally have to be scouting everybody, scouting to position, and then at the last second you also have to scout to see if they bought some sort of like enhancement to their combat. It just seems so like I don't know how to describe it. It just seems so like RNG-ish. But anyways, you know, we'll see how it goes. Obviously it'll be fine, right? They'll balance it at one point if it's broken, surely. This is really cute. And then yeah, I think those were all my thoughts or initial reaction. It was a little bit longer than the video, obviously, because I'm giving my thoughts on it. But overall, it looks really interesting. I think there was a couple points here that I saw. Like I can't get into everything, but a lot of the traits look a lot more interesting. I'm more excited about this set than I was about set 11, if that makes sense. So for me, it's like, okay, cool. Looks like there's gonna be some interesting things. We'll go over the traits. I think the traits got released a little bit later today, or maybe they're already released. We'll go over those as soon as they're available. I'll give my opinion on all of the traits, and that'll be the next video. But thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching. If you don't know, you can join my Discord, and there's a giveaway. I'm not going to do a whole video because it's really late in the video already. And make sure to like and subscribe if you like this content. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully it was interesting to hear my take. This was more like a message to like my YouTube subs that get a lot of their information from me. But if you're new to my channel, welcome. I mostly do VOD reviews. Thank you. And hope you enjoy your day. Bye-bye.